Okay, go.
Hi, everyone. This is our new episode of Brown Girls in the Rain Book Club. I'm Sharanja. This is my friend Anika. And then we also have our very esteemed guest, Shaun.
First time guest.
Shaun, aka Stay Puff 1983.
Hi,
And
everybody.
today's episode, we're going to be discussing Genius. Anika, you want to do the summary of the comic?
No, I was expecting you to do it. Okay.
Well,
Okay, you got
Genius
it.
is a series of comics distributed by, I think it's Top Cow. And
Under
it's
Image.
and Under Image. And it's the story of a young girl who essentially takes back her neighborhood. She enlists the help of all the gangs. She's able to unify them. And their goal is to get back at the LA police. And she does a heck of a job doing it.
All
so
right.
What did you guys think? What were your overall opinions?
Okay, well, I've already been saying for years that I love this series. So what more can I say? I love this series. I love Destiny. She's one of my favorite characters because she's a smart cookie.
Yeah, I loved it too. I think I especially loved it because of the art. Hello there. The art in the whole series is really, really well done. And I also I think it's so much more relevant today to the story with Black Lives Matter and the whole defund the police.
TC, you're a jackass. You'll be here soon.
I mean, I was expecting to see Greg too.
You're equal. Wow, I see. I guess I'm not special enough to anyone.
No, not really. But going back to what I was saying, I think the story is so much more relevant now with the whole thing with Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. This is a good way to introduce yourself to that discussion.
I will agree. I felt like after reading the first few issues, I felt like we just experienced all this year, and that something like this is going to finally happen. Because we've been through all these police brutality situations, and police always getting away, getting off these cases, and sooner or later, somebody is going to get the mindset of we need to gather up the troops and take it to them. And that's exactly what Destiny did. The way she took control of the gangs was interesting. How she worked her way up that ladder. And it was kind of brief. You kind of want to see more of it, along with her backstory, because they just run through it in a couple of pages, and then automatically she's at the top of the food chain. But when she took over the gangs, it was pretty surprising. And shocking, especially with the gang that she was rolling with and how she dealt with them. So that was pretty surprising. But, she was very tactical in her efforts to get that type of leadership and to get everybody to fall into line and agree with her, because trying to manage gangs is not something that somebody can do,
No,
you talking about
that young.
Yeah, you talking about gangbangers, guys who does criminal activities, going out shooting people and selling drugs and all that stuff. So, for her to just say, I'm going to take over all these gangs and they're going to do my bidding, and for it to work, I like it. But like I said, I would have liked to see a little bit more of how she really got their control, because I just felt like it was so brief. So that's how I felt about it.
I felt like it's hard to basically remember that she's so young. I think she's only supposed to be 17.
Yeah, she's only 16 or 17, still in high school.
And it's like she don't even need high school because she's pretending to not she's dumbing herself down basically. Putting wrong answers.
Well, they talked about that in the story a little bit, that she was doing that
just that intellectual. She just to kind of like hide.
Yeah, she was trying to hide.
Basically,
Like
being
Layla.
smart couldn't get you in a lot of trouble.
I did like the part where she was with Gregory and he was explaining the game of chess to her, and on how you had your pawns, you had your bishops
Like
and
this.
kings, and that part, yeah. When she said,
That's
"I
one of
like
my
this game,"
favorite panels. The
yes,
art.
I liked it how she picked up on the game of chess, and that she's like, "I like this game," so she uses that as a way of pushing herself forward to become that top tier queen, and it plays a role at least in the first half of the series, where even the gang saying, who you think you are, we're not pawns or something like that. So it definitely plays a role in how the series is shaped.
That, and she uses, I don't know if it's that she was using the knowledge in real life before she knew about chess, or if it's the reverse, but how she always thinks like many steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So like even like in the gang, she's like, okay, like they're gonna do this, so we need to do this, this, and this.
She basically had her whole plan like mapped out like from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like she's always ahead of the police, and when they say she wants her people to be active, when everybody knows that's the least active time that they're going to be. Like if the police might attack you at like 3 a.m, they're going to think that they can just easily come and attack. No, she wants her people to be active and ready for it, alert for it. They're going to have helicopters, so be prepared for that. Planting C4s in different parts of the area, so when they come through, boom, they just blow up a whole police vehicle. So she was very tactical on how she mapped things out.
One thing
She
I
knew
noticed
exactly what she was doing. Even down to like hooking up with the top dog. Sorry, go Sharanja.
No, you go.
No, I'm just saying, like, she knew exactly what she was doing from the very beginning. Like, she went for the alpha male, attached to him, and then was basically his like second hand, his second in command, like being whispering in his ear about everything, to the point where she was able to take over, like dunzo him.
I wanted to say that throughout the story, she was referencing a lot of different material. Like she was referencing The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Nietzsche, is it Nietzsche?
Nietzsche. Like she was referencing a lot of different people, which shows that like she did her homework. Like she studied before she enacted this plan.
Yeah.
There's a part in here with this panel where she's talking and you see the guerrilla warfare in the background. It's like very faint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you say guerrilla.
Yeah.
So it's like they throw those little hints in there of what she's picking up, the knowledge that she's picking up on.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you guys, do you think she left her community better than how she found it? Because at the end of the story, I was trying to figure out what was her overall intention, because yes, they started this all-out war with the police, but what was the end result of that? These people still have to go back to their homes, and she won't be there. She's gonna be off doing something else now.
Dead.
She's dead. But what was her? What do you think her intention was for the community, and do you think she ended up achieving it by the end?
Okay, so what she was trying to achieve, I guess, was just, I don't know, like, I guess kind of respect for her neighborhood. Like, because she was trying to get those dirty cops out, because it was the cops who had their hand in like all these things, and like then they're also like killing the neighborhood. So I guess she was trying to even that out.
Like she was trying to get them arrested, basically,
or dead. Kill them.
Or dead. But my thing is, there's always going to be another person to take their spot. Basically, it's like a chain that you can break. And worse is she's not there anymore to sort of hold things down. So what's to say that these people won't go back to the way they were before?
That it's funny that you say that, because she was the first one to actively do this to the police. And for her to be that strong and that powerful, to actually have the police sweating bullets and unable to do anything that they got to call the National Guard, that tells a lot. That tells that, number one, this young girl, 17-year-old girl, was able to outsmart everybody, including the police, the mayor, and everybody in that city, to say to the point that, what can we do to suppress this? And the fact that even though she surrendered, she was able to get her point across and her message across, that she gave some people the hope that something like this happens again, with the police go out of line, somebody else can step up to the plate who's seen her in action, who actually learned under her, and say, we gotta, take a stand on this. And while the community, I don't know if it would be any different, because without her, the gangbangers will probably lay low and then probably go back to their separate ways. But the ones who might want to say, we got to keep the pressure on them, stuff might stay low and continue the plan to make sure if things get out of hand, we can unite and do something like this again.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she had all the gangs united, but I feel like with her gone, they're going to go back to being at each other's throats.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, I felt she was the glue that sort of held everyone together.
Yeah.
But, they also got to look at it like, we had the police on the ropes, and while she's the glue that held them together, if they were smart, if they we can stand as a unit and do this. But again, somebody has to be underneath her to learn the tactics. She had to, just like she learned it on her own.
Them.
Yeah, she has to let them know, like, hey, this is how I do it, and how we should do it. And she was trying to kick knowledge to some of them, but when Gerald died, when Gerald died, and that was like a huge part of the whole plan out of the window, because he was their main information internet guru. So I would agree that they will go back to what they were doing before, but there's always going to be one person or two persons that's going to say, man, we could do this. So it's just the hope that she gave them, to say that we can challenge the police and have them on the ropes.
I liked how that news person, the news lady, had came in and she did the most to try and get that story. And from off the bat, she knew that Gerald wasn't the top dog. Because remember, he tried to be like, oh yeah, what you want? But she was able to read everybody's cues and know that Destiny was the one.
Well, Gerald came off like a jerk when he presented himself. So I was Gerald like, man,
he made it obvious.
Down, man.
Gerald's that classic little nerd.
He tried to act hard, but you wearing glasses and all you do is sit on the computer giving out information and stuff, but you're not the leader.
Playing chess. Trying to play chess and not getting the hang of it.
Well, I thought that part just spoke to the bond between them, because it seemed like he was making it. He told her that he was the leader because he wanted to protect Destiny. He wanted just to create a diversion, but obviously it was obvious who the leader was.
It's one thing to want to be a leader, to divert the attention off of Destiny, but the way he presented himself was just a red flag that you are not the leader.
It's true. Or how Destiny had the sense to tell the news reporter that she'll give her the story, but she can't break it until the very end.
I like how she was putting the pressure on in the newsroom, saying, we need something, because they were getting nothing from it, and that she was willing to go through all the hoops to get that story, whether it's to take the chopper into the neighborhood where all the action is going, and then jump out of the chopper with the camera. I was like, this woman crazy. Is she Lois Lane or something, man? Is she trying to be this superhero reporter or something? But
then she came out with a sex appeal because she knew she had to get in somehow, and being full suit wouldn't work.
I mean, that's just, she knows how to do her job.
Yeah.
Or I thought it was adorable too. It was adorable how Destiny just had her own suit just packed away for like the absolute necessary moment to use it. Like that was like the last thing in her bag to use, her last bag of tricks.
There was a
She
quote
cleans
that
up nice
happened.
though.
There was a quote that she said during that scene about knowing when to fit in, like how to make yourself like seem like appropriate to the extent that people won't even question that you belong there.
They won't even
Hold
question
on.
what your
Let me
age
pull
is.
it up.
Even with her dressed like that, it's like y'all still gonna let her in, even if she's saying all that, and like she looked too young. It was too late by the time what's her name figured out the detective Reginald
The
Gray.
detective. When she hopped on the bike, that was nice.
And you know, going back to what we was talking about off air with Detective Gray, I found his character pretty interesting and how he was determined to find out who this person was. Because initially, you know, people think that it was a man that was running this whole thing, you know, and while he was trying to figure out who was behind it and going into the battlefield, he come across this house where they trying to get out of gunfire, and there was his mother and her 2 kids, and while he's in there, the young boy started saying, "Oh, Destiny's gonna kick your ass. You know, she's gonna put it to the police. You know, she's gonna win this whole war, and y'all gonna go back and kick rocks." And I'm reading this, and the first thing that popped in my mind was the scene from The Wire, where all the police was after Avon Barksdale, but they couldn't find any of his people around. Somebody said, "Oh, they had a basketball game. All the East Side versus West Side basketball game." So they go to this basketball game. Avon's there, but the cops don't know it. They go and they meet 2 guys that they already familiar with. That's part of Avon's Barksdale crew. While they watching the game, Avon's going crazy, and one of the guys said, "Oh, look, Avon's going crazy on the sideline, right in front of the police. Why are you name dropping your boss in front of the police?" So that automatically alerts the police that Avon is there and that they need to go and target him. So I'm reading this book, and I'm like, this kid is just putting Destiny's name out there. He's putting that it's a woman, and I'm like, shut the hell up, man.
Right? Because when he says Destiny at first, the cop takes it as just like a figure of speech.
Yeah.
Like that, oh, Destiny's gonna come for me. But the boy kept pushing it. Like, can you shut your mouth up? Can you?
And then he's like, wait a minute, Destiny's a she? And I'm like, oh man. And then the second issue, the boy, he got the most slappable face. Like that face right there.
What a face that you could just punch.
I mean, I'm like, oh man, this boy he got all the balls on him because he ain't care. He just wanted to talk trash to the police, but at the same time, he's low-key snitching without knowing he's snitching because he's giving up names and information.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He felt really comfortable in that moment.
His mama should have beat him. His friend should have beat him. Everybody in his vicinity should have just come for him. Curb stomp. Well, don't kill the boy, but make him regret it.
She said curb stomp.
I
I found the quote, Sharanja.
Yeah, read the quote.
I think this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It says, "It's called social engineering. If you force your appropriateness upon people with matter-of-fact conviction, more often than not, they'll accept that you belong. In other words, you got to talk the talk and walk the walk."
Yeah, and I think she's been social engineering her whole life.
Yep.
I found it interesting that the cop, who was the name, Gray, he had a previous connection with her because I think he worked on the case where her parents were shot by the police. Let's not talk about that kid from Power.
Honestly, I haven't seen Power. I used to watch, what was that next one? With Jussie Smollett?
Empire?
Yes, Empire. I used to watch that one, but I had to stop because I was getting too vexed.
I feel like Power is slightly better than Empire, but it depends
But
on what.
isn't 50 Cent in that one?
Yeah, he's
Not
in Power.
he's like a guest star.
I don't like that man. So
I mean,
he's too cocky.
He's not the main actor though. It's
still isn't he like executive producer or something? Doesn't he have money in it? Yeah, no, I can't.
Pretty much paying.
I don't like him.
It's good for everyone else though.
The knockoff of Power.
But yeah, you're right, Sharanja. He did have a connection with her when after her parents was killed. You know, I think he was on that case that he could have done something better, you know, for her at that time, but he didn't, and he felt real guilty about it. Mm-hmm. Once he did the information and background on her, he had the photo. He's like, "Ah, man, I could have done something better for." And now he kind of blames himself because he felt that this wouldn't have happened had he stepped in and done something.
And I like that they mentioned that in the story, that like these cops have a greater role to play in these cases involving kids. Like you can always help out a little bit more, especially with the little girl who lost his parent, who lost both of her parents. Another thing, I wish they had talked more about that too.
On her file, it said that she was she had higher than normal intelligence. So if you have somebody like that and you know that they're like in a situation that she was in, wouldn't you try and reach out, like try and give her like some kind of like resources or link her up with people? Also, my question is, if both her parents died, who's taking care of her?
That's it goes back to us saying, like, I feel like there's so much about her backstory we don't know. There's a lot about her backstory that we actually don't know. There's a lot of like gaps that I thought could have been filled in a bit more, but
like before the show I was telling Shaun that they should have made it like at least 10 issues to give us like to be able to flesh out more of the story.
But I felt like her origin was kind of they rushed through it. You know, and that's not even to say it was briefly mentioned that even her parents had issues. You know, she's sitting there watching TV while her parents was fighting. So there was issues within that whole house going on before the cops came and shot both of them. So, and the way she looked at at the TV, like, oh, here's my parents fighting again. Let me just watch cartoons. It just shows you that she has gotten used to that thing happening in her household, and that she's immune to it. You know, so there's definitely a lot more that they could have done to flesh out this character.
That reminds me of another quote that she said in the book about kids who grow up in those type of like areas where there's like a lot of violence. They sort of just become accustomed to it, like it's white noise in the background. And I thought that's just true to life too. When you grow up in a certain area and it's just violence every day, there's just shootings, you don't think twice about it. You just get used to it, especially when you're a young kid growing up in the area.
I'm probably going to bring up The Wire again because it's one of my favorite shows. But
I need to watch this show. I've never watched one episode, and I'm
definitely
a huge TV person.
Definitely give it a watch. But there was the part, I think, where there was a shootout in the streets, and the mother was grabbing her kids and telling her to get under the bed and get in the bathroom. But her son was shot because he was busy looking outside, seeing all the commotion. There's kids that actually want to look out and see what's going on in there. They're not aware of the fact that it's dangerous. You know, they just want, the curiosity is always there that you hear shooting. It's either you're smart enough to know what your parents say, get underneath the bed, or the curiosity is going to come out and you want to look outside and see who's getting shot and stuff. That's the thing that children deals with in these type of neighborhoods. And it's sad, but at the same time, it's something that they become used to and accustomed to, that, somebody gets shot, kids like, they're going to talk about it in school. Yeah, somebody got shot yesterday and I heard noise and stuff like that. But, that's what they grow up in. And it's almost like they become immune to it, but they don't know one day they might get shot, like that boy who was just looking out the window wanting to see the commotion. So it's sad.
Do you feel like you are with or against the whole stereotype, like because you grew up in New York City, like what people try to say about New York. Do you feel like that was ever you?
I'm against it, mainly because I have both my parents and they raised me the correct way, and I've always avoided those who weren't like for me.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are always deep into the streets and stuff like that. I tend to stay away from that because I know it could lead to something that I don't want to get myself involved with. So I grew up on the side where I was educated well to say avoid these situations.
I mean, I feel like the area. Oh wait, here's Greg. Hello, Gregory.
Hello.
Hey, Greg.
How's everyone doing?
Doing
Greg,
fine,
what's
man.
going on back in your room? What's going on back there?
Listen, leave the boy alone.
My room?
Close the door. I
Oh,
think that's what she means.
I don't know. I'm tired.
Tornado back there.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like the area that like Sharanja and I initially grew up in, it might not have been the best area, but I
Compared
feel
to
like
New York City,
well, no, I mean
Yeah,
like
but-
within the
within
suburbs of
Toronto, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, okay, you can't say within Toronto because it's probably like downtown was probably a different story.
I see it a bit differently. I feel like Scarborough is like low down, but
yeah, but I feel like even though we came from what some people might think was like a rough area, I was very sheltered. I lived a very sheltered life.
so yeah, we were sheltered, but I would say that I was at least aware of all the other things that were happening in the area, gang-wise. And I just want to say, like, sometimes, like, you can try your hardest to avoid a situation, but it will still follow you home. Like, we still had people who were just like shot for no reason other than just being a bystander.
Hello, TC.
Greg,
What?
this man coming on here saying that he came for you.
Well, here I am.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah.
You see what Bake the Snake said?
It's true. I didn't
So,
unshelter myself until basically university.
I haven't seen The Wire at all.
Me too! Something we can watch together.
Yeah, another thing on our list that we won't watch.
It's a good
We need to
show.
put it at the top of that list, a different world.
At the top, and then something's going to get on top of that.
No, the top of the list, different world. You need to watch
You've
it.
never watched A Different World, Greg?
Nope.
He started watching it. Give yourself some credit, Greg. You started to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, how far are you in it?
What? I'm still in the first season. I don't know what episode number though.
It only gets
But
better.
Nico was
after the
saying,
first
yeah, Nico was saying that's like not the good season sauce. I'm
No.
like,
It gets better at season 2.
Yeah. When Debbie Allen took over, that's when the show got way better.
Yeah, he's right. It got so much better.
Well, then I'll get there eventually.
Look, even Baker's saying it, man.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what I watched as a kid. I feel like I just watched like Power Ranger reruns and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and everything else but those things.
So basically all the kid shows.
Yeah, because that was a kid.
Because in reality, when A Different World was at the final seasons, we were infants. So like I was really watching it as reruns. So as a child, I was still kind of young. I wasn't understanding fully what was going on, but like from what I was getting, I liked it. And then now as an adult, I really understand.
It used to be on Netflix for a little while.
Yes, Martin too. It's
Yeah,
on
and Martin.
A Different World's on Prime.
Yeah. That Living Single.
Yes. Sharanja, wasn't it you who said you never watched Living Single?
Wow.
I watched it in quarantine. Relax.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
I only watched Fresh Prince out of those things.
And
You didn't watch
coincidentally,
Cosby?
those are like all
No.
all my favorites. A Different World, Living Single, Fresh Prince, and Martin.
Greg, you never watched the Cosby Show? Not even as a kid?
No.
Amount of times that was rerun.
Yeah.
Like, what channel were all
Greg's
these
not
on?
gonna
I
want
must
to
have
come
just
back
not
on here if
watched
we
these.
if we
This
bully
is my
him.
life, anyways. This will always happen. It's like, you haven't watched this? Nope.
Greg, did you watch Family Matters? Did you watch
Yeah, I
Family
watched
Matters?
Family Matters. Yeah.
Urkel, man. I have seasons 1 through something of
I feel
Family
like
Matters.
I pretty much, like, for those shows, I just watched whatever my parents put on. So, besides that, it was cartoons for me.
Yeah.
But hold on,
So-
where are we at with Genius right now? Sorry, I just.
So Greg, since you just popped in, what are your thoughts on Genius
As a whole, I liked it.
Oh my gosh.
For me, I guess it was kind of slow to start, but then, like, I guess it really, like, picked up. I would say, like, three and on. I really was, like, sucked into it.
What happened in number 3? Because mine thing is just all like one book. It's not broken up.
I think that's when they're having, like, some street party or something.
Yep.
I don't know if that was
Okay.
yeah. And then, like, I guess these other people came back like, oh yeah, we're going to just kill some people. I'm like, what?
That's when you had the infiltrators.
Yeah.
Guys who actually worked for the police.
Yeah.
And they got that was kind of disappointing in itself because the next issue
Yeah.
it didn't take them long to get wiped out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they're old dudes. What they out here?
I was like, wait a minute, these guys infiltrated them. They was ready to go out and take them out, and then 3 pages in, they done. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Destiny didn't already know about them because the way she had planned everything out, it seemed foolproof, but she didn't think that there would be people there to backstab her.
Well, the way they came back, they were already getting scoured from the community because they was, away while they was at war. So when they coming back, they're like, oh yeah, we did all the work. Where y'all was at. And then when they approached Destiny, he's like, I sent you away for a reason. So I'm thinking she had an idea that she didn't trust them.
Yeah,
I just kind of wish that it was planned out better. Like if she didn't trust them, then why would you let them back in or something like that?
That's true.
This question is kind of unrelated, but it's been. Is her friend Siobhan? Is she white or is she light skinned?
She looked like white. I'm not sure what
white
she
passing.
was. I guess I honestly don't know.
Also, I say friend because were they in a relationship?
That's what
were they in a sexual relationship?
It goes back to just the lack of development for these side characters that didn't really get no treatment. It was just about Destiny and to a certain extent Greg, but the others just didn't get not Greg, Gray, but the others didn't get no play.
That's true.
Cause obviously her friend G Money or whatever he wants, G-Tron, G whatever, he's like her best friend. Like nothing was going on between them in that sense. But with this girl, like they have a relationship, right?
Well, I don't know.
So she's bisexual.
When she came back here, she like, where were you? I was like, I was doing some guy,
Yeah. I think they just have like a really sisterly, loving relationship, but I don't think they're together.
I need to reread because I could have sworn there was some part in there that they just come out of bed, or maybe I'm just imagining.
I just think of this scene. This was after she saw that.
That
Joe was killed.
Was dead. Yeah.
There was like this bond here. Because of Joe's death.
And then that's when she's like, "Okay, we got to bring out the suit."
Yeah, let me go in there as this internal affairs businesswoman, and you could tell she could see that she's struggling with the heels on this page here.
Yep. She's not used to them. She's used to her.
She didn't want to wear those
Converse.
heels. She was just like, oh, it's gonna be painful.
Like, you would think if somebody would pay attention to how she walks, see how, she struggled a little bit in them heels, that they would know that something's up.
I like how she's still, by wearing a suit, she's like, by wearing a pantsuit, I should say, she's still kind of keeping her identity and a slight bit of masculinity while still being feminine. Because obviously she couldn't go in her usual clothes because that would be like too rough and tumble. But yeah, I like how she still maintains herself in this, that she doesn't wear like a skirt suit.
Look how she just throw that coffee in that dude's face, man, with her one finger.
Yes, I was just looking at that. Speaking of Martin, he looks like a fat Martin. Looks like how Martin looks now.
He said, "Aren't you a little short for internal affairs? A little young?" Hey, they hiring them right from high school. You're like, they're hiring them straight from high school now.
I guess they say that growing up in an environment like that, it matures you and it ages you. But like, this is excessive. She's 17 and she's getting away with this.
That's why sometimes you just see it as a story, because real life, I don't think this will get past anybody.
I know me at 17, I definitely wouldn't be able to pass off at that. Recently, someone in my class was shell-shocked to find out that I was 27. She thought I was 20. I'm like, no, honey. I'm old compared to you people.
So wait, question also, since we're talking about age. How old was she when she killed that guy in the, what they call it, not McDonald's?
Like when she killed the Crip? Or is it blood?
Blood. Was he a Crip or blood?
I think
it was a blood.
Blood.
Yeah, it was blood.
Yeah. I think she was like 11 or 12. She didn't look that.
Yeah, she looked really.
So this is only like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
But it really showed her mentality as to like what she was really willing to do to get where she needed to go.
Yeah, she had to get it done. Cause that's another thing. Okay, so we talked about how she like climbed up the ranks to become like the head boss, but like she found the alpha dude and like slept with him. So at what age was she? She was underage, wasn't she?
I was thinking that same thing when I read it.
Didn't just happen.
I was like that had to be at
He's
least
a grown
within
man,
a year.
right?
Yeah, so I'm like,
they said it was 2 years between
so
what
she's
was
still
happening
15.
now, and so she was 15 at the time that like she took power then, and I think she's 17 now.
So she was underage, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Regardless,
that was rape.
Throughout the whole story, she's underage.
The bottom line.
The bottom line is that was rape.
I just found it weird that they threw that in there, just even as a panel.
Oh, like her on top of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that kind of like threw me off there. If she was that young, and I'm like, what? I had to pause for a bit and think about it. I'm like, what am I looking at here?
I had to pause for a bit because in my head I was thinking that it was some next woman. I didn't think it was her.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm thinking it's somebody else,
and I went back.
Yeah.
Like, that can't be Destiny.
But I like how about in issue 2 when they was going at it with the police, and she tells her crew to fall back so she can activate the device and blow up a whole area with the helicopter and stuff. And the gangsters was not happy with that whole situation. Because they felt that they could have been caught in the crossfire. And that's where they said there's a difference between soldiers and pawns.
Mm-hmm.
And they was looking to take her out right there because of what she did. And then by issue 3, she talked them down. And
she flipped it around.
Yeah. And this was after the whole point where she shot that blood and the thing. When they go back to the present time, you know, she took them down the notch by, you know, giving her speech, and they all fell back in line. But I always look at it as there's always going to be somebody that's going to challenge her. Even if this would have went further on, somebody was going to say, all right, I'm tired of taking orders from her. No matter how smart she is, there's always going to be that one person that's going to say, enough is enough. You know, I'm looking to take power now. And, you know,
that's why I'm interested in how, like, this the cartel story is going to go, because they're all smart at that institute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be like, you're not the smartest person in the room now.
Yeah. I just felt that it was interesting that was the only time she was challenged by her crew. And that after that, you know, they just kind of fell back in line. That's why I just wish this was a bit longer of a story so we can get more development. You know, get more to know these gangbangers and their motives and their reasons why they're falling in line with this character. You know, because they have to have different reasons themselves. Like, yeah, they may agree with what she's doing, but at the same time, in the back of their mind, they're gonna be like, man, she's gonna get us all killed because we're going up against the police, and the police gonna turn to the National Guard, and that's like the end of us all the way. So there's got to be some more conflict between these characters.
Yeah, it goes back to us saying that, like, I just wish that it was a bit more developed, maybe like a couple issues longer, like really spend time developing everyone's character and their relationships with each other and just how she got to this point. I mean, I think this would be a good material for like a TV show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on Prime.
On Prime?
Because Prime makes those good shows now.
Do they?
Don't they?
I don't know. You tell me then.
Don't you watch The Boys and...
That's one show.
The Boys. There's some... That Utopia is supposed to be good.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, but supposedly.
First of all, Gregory, before you do anything, you need to finish watching a different world.
No.
That's at the top.
Let me just pause. I love how you say his full name.
Gregory?
Because I say it all the time. So it's
Yeah.
like in your mind. Because like nobody calls him Gregory.
But you call him Gregory, so I say Gregory.
I know, that's why I'm like...
But he's titled Greg. But he's titled as
Greg because everyone calls me Greg, so I just went with the majority. I could have put Greg, aka Gregory, aka whatever.
AKA regular.
Robot, aka whatever.
Robot. Old Greg.
Yes, I will try. I have a lot of things on my list, and yeah,
Actually,
we'll see.
you have a lot of things on our list.
What do y'all think about her on the motorcycle being chased by the tank?
It was badass.
It was badass.
But at the same time, I know she mentioned that she briefly rode a bike, but the way she was riding that bike, like,
how would she go between those cars? Like boom, boom. I'm like, what?
I thought she had never rode a bike. She had read the manual or something like that.
That's what she said.
I'm like, okay, girl.
Okay. But she's swerving through the highway like she's a pro at doing it.
Let me learn to drive a car like that.
Not with me in it.
I did.
She running through police barriers. She stopped to park a bus in front of the tank so he can get slowed down.
Yeah, that's the thing. So she stopped the bus to block the tank.
Yeah, because the tank ain't gonna hit a bus full of people.
Fair enough. Good to know.
She's smart. She's smart.
And she did all this in her suit with heels on, riding the motorcycle. What do y'all think of the ending?
Where she dies?
Where she dies. Goes to jail.
At first, I thought when she said, "Oh yeah, I ran away," I thought she was like abandoning everyone. Like, what? I'm like, wow. But then yeah, so she turns herself over. But yeah, it was good ending. I guess it's good to know now that there's cartel. If I didn't know there was more, then I'm like, wow, that's.
Oh, Greg, I didn't tell you. This came yesterday, so we
What's
have
this?
cartel.
Oh, volume?
We have, yeah.
Trade? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of saw the ending coming because I knew that she had a major plan. You know, when the National Guard came, like, because that was the whole point of her genius, was that she knew that the National Guard was coming. She said that when the National Guard come, that's when things gonna get hectic and stuff. So she had this plan set out in motion, which is why she had the reporter come and interview her and said, "Don't release this tape until it's over." You know, so she had that plan in motion, and that, you know, this was something that she was going to do. She's going to become like a supposedly died and become this martyr. But, you know, obviously other people got other plans for her.
I wanted to talk about the media, like the media's role in the story, because I like the fact that she even thought far enough to get a hold of the media, so that like the images that were being presented on the news were like the faces of like the people who were living in the neighborhoods, like the actual victims, like the people who was affecting. Because normally when you see the stuff on like real life TV, they don't normally show the people living in the area who are affected. They just show like the cops barging in and like the faces of like gang members being like carted away in arm cuffs. You don't really see the people who are actually being affected.
Yeah, and like I like how they use stories of people who the police have like affected in a negative way. So it's like kind of like showing the story of, okay, the cops aren't all good. Like there's bad cops.
Yeah. And like it was Destiny who sort of like spearheaded that, right?
Yeah. And what's his name? G something. G-Tron? G-Money? I never... What is it? Is it G-Money or G-Tron?
G-Tron?
It ain't G-Money because there's only one G-Money.
Pretty sure
G something.
His name is Gerald.
Yes, but he doesn't like to be called Gerald.
But he looks like a Gerald. He doesn't look like a G-Tron. He looks like a Gerald.
Wow.
Greg, your new name is G-Tron.
I look like a G. Oh, I guess a robot. So okay.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
You know, it was another little thing in there I thought was pretty funny. Was when the detective got back to his apartment and he told his boss, "You're getting your ass kicked by a 17-year-old." His boss was like, "Don't tell nobody.
Don't tell anyone." Yeah.
Just stay on the down low about this. Keep this information to yourself until we get something out of this. So, because you think about it. You think about it. You getting your ass whooped by a 17-year-old girl who's leading the charge. That's kind of a hit to your pride as a department. Like, yo, this girl is just decimating my department. And then I got the mayor here. Yep. If I told the mayor that this 17-year-old girl is decimating my department, I might get fired immediately.
So, I was laughing at her bomb vest, how it was full of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, this Play-Doh, it's getting heavy.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
And she came in there and the boss was like, "This ain't funny. I ain't in no joking mood." Because he got played through the whole series. It's like his whole department's getting decimated, and then she just pops up, and all of a sudden, like, "Oh, you think this is funny?" Like you could tell, even though he ain't want to shoot her, he like, man, I wish, going through his mind.
So basically the story behind that was apparently at work the other day, some customer came up to Greg and was like, "Has anybody ever told you that you look like Denzel Washington from the back? Like you walk like Denzel Washington."
From the back?
I'm like, "No, you don't." I'm like, no, you don't. I didn't know. I didn't ask him, was this an old woman or a young woman? Because this whoever woman was just trying to sweet talk him.
Who says you look like Denzel from the back?
Yeah, like the way he walks.
Oh my god. People are something else.
TC, be honest. Did you pay the customer to tell him that?
I love how you guys are saying this right as he goes, right as he left.
I'm gonna say
Like-
to his face, what you mean?
I think this was the cover that you posted a lot.
Yeah, the
like,
chess
man,
one.
I have to get this series, man, because I love this cover the most, even though the tank one was great. But I just love the analogy of chess. You know, it's brought up in The Wire. I'm gonna bring that up again. The Wire uses the chess analogy, which was awesome, and it's used here, and it was amazing.
Okay, I'm back.
Greg, did you leave your headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't hear anything that I said about you then?
No.
We were talking about you, Denzel, and how you supposedly Denzel from the back, and how it was a
I see
lie.
now.
Also, was a woman young or old who said this?
I want to say she's an older black lady.
So she's trying to sweet talk you. She's trying to get some young meat.
I guess it was.
She thinks you're
weird.
younger than you really are too.
That was a weird pickup line, if anything.
She's a little cradle robber.
The genius of saying that you look like Denzel from the back.
Like, when she said that, I was like, I never thought of what Denzel looks like when he's walking. So I was like, maybe next time I'll pay more attention to when I watch a movie. I'm like, I don't know what to say to that.
So basically, she's gonna have you watching some man from behind.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why is she watching me so hard from behind?
I told you, you want some young meat.
That's scary.
She's like, ooh, that boy with the twist in his hair, or that boy with the twist out.
I'm gonna hide in the back room now.
She's coming back in that store for you, man. If she could say that to you, you know she wants to see you walk all the time.
Oh gosh, I'll make
She's
sure
gonna become a regular.
I'm gonna like walk backwards to the back, so I'm staring at her. Like,
She'll come up to you and be like, "Where's your eggplant?
oh,
Or your bananas?"
and I'll say it's on the white counter. Bananas are on the banana table.
Can you show me where they are?
And I'll walk her over to the bananas. Oh, you're right. I can't walk. Oh no, I have to walk beside her.
Or so come with some cantaloupes or some like honeydew melons.
No.
Melons.
Please, let's not talk about melons, please.
Greg is like, can we get back to the book now?
Greg, what's your favorite cover? What was your favorite
I was
cover?
actually looking at that. Let's see. It's between 4 and 5. I'd say probably 5. I really like the action shot.
Okay, but can you tell me what that cover is?
The tank and the motorcycle.
Okay. And what was the other one?
4 is the chess one.
Oh, the one that I post all the time. I swear that's the only cover I've ever posted.
Hey, if you didn't post that cover all the time, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, this
number
one's really
one.
nice. It definitely made me want to read the story because this is number 1, and I'm like, oh, I saw this, and I'm like, oh, I definitely got to read this.
You know that I picked up the whole series when you and I went to comic book store together, like one of our first times going to Heroic.
Yeah, we picked it up at the same time because that's how I got this.
So wait, you said 1. They said 4 and 5. So what does 2 and 3 look like?
2 is her like, yeah, it's her.
Okay, I like that one. Number 3.
Everything.
Mine's her reflective.
Number 2 is meh.
And then number 3 is this one.
The scar.
Just like
that one's meh, as Greg would say.
Where did I? Oh, there it is.
In terms of like panels too, I was really like I really like this one too because it brings it back to how young she is, right? Because those are her
when she was
toys.
shooting what's his name, Mr. T.
Mr. T, and then you see Mr. Potato Head and a Barbie doll and like those troll things.
Yeah, trolls.
And I'm assuming those are all her toys, so I'm just like, she must be like fairly young in this story then.
Let's look at her shirt.
Yeah, it says bad guy high.
Okay, that reminds me. She's, as we said, she's fairly young. So take in the hypersexualization. Like, she's this young and she's wearing all her low cut, her crop top and her low jeans.
I feel like she wears that throughout the series, except for when she had the suit on.
When she's older, it's different. When you're a little kid.
She's 17? Is that how old
Yeah,
she
she's
was?
17. But I mean, when she's a kid,
No,
like when she's shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what she wears as a kid is fine. That's just like little kids' clothes, what she's wearing.
Sharanja, were you wearing that when you was a little kid? I know if I was wearing that, I would not be leaving the house.
Well, I
shirt.
didn't wear that, but I know kids who did wear that, and it's just a shirt.
Well, it's the length of the shirt.
Yeah.
I was paying attention to back in the first issue of her hairstyle here. Got the three little dreads.
Huh.
Got the braided hair and then the 3 little dreads on the sides. I was like, that's odd.
It is. Trendsetter.
Side note, though, speaking of hair, Shaun, you know how we're talking about Joe's hair in Far Sector? I think we were wrong. I think her hair really is like long and out, but it's just she styles it in a swoop.
She got the Egon flow.
Yeah, because I was looking at that one and it's more like a swoop. So future cause goals for sure. Just have to grow my hair out.
Man, they only had this cover at my shop. I couldn't get both covers. So I have to go to another shop to see if they have the other cover.
Did you read it?
No, I ain't read it yet. I know it comes out in 2 months, so.
Did you read it, Greg?
Do I have it?
Yes, I gave you it.
That's all I was wondering. Like, do I have it? I lost it.
Well, I have another one, so.
Oh, well, I was trying to. It's probably in the bag somewhere.
And you, Sharanja, need to get you on it.
On Far Sector?
Yes.
I'm down to read it.
I feel like if it wasn't bi-monthly now, we could wrap this series up and do another show on it. Just the series as a whole.
It's true. We're in for a ride.
For what? Is that what it says?
No, I'm saying we're in for a ride for the second half of the series.
Cartel?
I was talking about Far Sector.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I figured we were actually going back to Genius.
But yeah, Cartel too. From the one issue that I read, we're in for a ride with that.
Okay.
Look at that. That's a nice cover in itself.
So, my overall thoughts on Genius was that it was a really good series that could have had a lot more explanation and backstory on it. Mm-hmm. The art was fine. There were some panels that were a bit iffy. Things couldn't be made clear a lot, but I thought it was fine. And the writing was pretty good, even though there was some hiccups with, like I said, the storytelling and like I said, the lack of character development. There's only 2 characters that actually gets more spotlight, and that's the detective and Destiny herself. So I felt like this was a good, solid series that could have been a much better improvement had it gotten like a couple more issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. It definitely needed at least a few more issues just to like draw out the story a little bit more and give more backstory to the main character, which is what I thought was seriously lacking. Just because, yeah, you don't really learn about anyone else but her, but she's still underdeveloped, like her story.
And same with the detective, because with him saying that he could have done more, I kind of want to see a little flashback on what his role was in that whole thing.
They could have actually shown the flashback with him being at the scene where her parents died. Like they just sort of just like talked over
Didn't
it.
they?
But no, I don't think they did. Just briefly.
There's just a lot of pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
But but not like with him actually being there.
Yeah. It made me think of like, what is it? That detective from Batman.
Oh, Gordon.
Remember how like he was supposed to be there the night where Bruce Wayne's parents died? At least in the show, and like in Gotham, like he was there the night.
There's so many different stories for Batman.
Yeah. Which one we
It's so hard to keep track of.
I'm talking about Gotham, the TV show that aired like recently. He was actually there the night that Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered, and he was sort of like that pillar of support for Bruce Wayne as a kid. Like he was very kind. He reached out to him. He made sure he was okay. Whereas this guy in this story was just like, oh, it's just another kid who got affected. All right.
Yeah, or like he's been studying her file forever, but not doing anything really.
This is the page where he, finds out that he was there when her parents were. Oh, he wasn't there when they was shot, but he was involved in the aftermath of it. He felt that he could have done something better for her. That's all we got. And I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more out of that.
Mm-hmm. Also, the fact that he couldn't put two and two together and figure out that the internal affairs person was actually her, even though he was just looking at her picture.
That's what I'm saying. He stares at her picture every day, and he studies her file, and when she's in your face, you don't realize it.
Only reckons after it's like she was here.
It took shaking her hand and noticing the scar that was her. So I'm like, bro, you could have just noticed that she's super young as an internal affairs. I'm like, come on now.
Even though I'm not gonna lie, that probably happened to me. Because I would look at somebody and be like, they look so familiar, but where do I know them from? Then only after I'd be like, oh shoot, that's who you were.
But you're not doing the thing he was doing by looking at her picture all the time. He was literally just looking at her picture. But
he's looking at her kid picture.
But that was just a few years ago, though. She's not that old.
People change.
And
I
then
know
even
people who like after puberty, they're a whole new person.
Because like even when he was talking, or she was talking about like her motives, it was like really like in depth. You're going to be like,
Yeah, like I said, it could have been a lot more that could have been told in the story. If it was a 10-issue series, then they could have fleshed it out a lot more. But like I said, we'll see with Cartel.
Tea time?
I was like, is this a thing? I'm like, did I miss tea time?
Yeah, get your
everyone grab tea. I would feel very left out.
What's the tea that we like? The one you just add the water?
Cardamom.
Yeah, get your cardamom chai.
It's done. I finished it.
I was talking with Anika about this. Anika.
Oh,
Destiny.
This is Cartel.
The last issue of Cartel.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And it got 2000 to 2018. And then when I'm reading this book, for this page it says 1996, 5 or 6. And I'm like, wait a minute. So she was in the 90s, yet they got her born in the 2000s. Like, what's the timeline here?
Time machine.
That's just called
clearly a time machine involved.
Oh, how far into the future is this? That's one.
She finds a
What's
time
happening?
machine. She travels into the future.
17.
So I was kind of confused with that, and
So
I'm
19. When she supposedly died, she's 19. Like this would be she's 19. So what's in 20 if you're 19 in 2018, what year were you born? I'm bad at math.
Sorry, what was the question?
If you're 19 in 2018, so you're born in 99? Is that what
Yeah.
it
close
is?
to it by
Yeah.
99, 2000.
So
But yet the
So
first
that's what
issue
it-
says that she existed since the 90s.
Late 90s.
It says 1993, not 1995, so that's even earlier.
because this thing is saying that she was born in 2000, so that she dies at 18. But yet when this one that we're talking about came out, she was 17, and that came out in what, 2016?
14. This came out
24, or
2014.
even worse, 2014. So that's a huge time jump.
Yeah, it's a bit it's a bit all over the
Yeah,
place.
exactly. She's a clone.
That's the only explanation.
Good Lord, I hope I don't read it and it end up being like that. I'll be disappointed. They'd be like, yeah, we did create a clone
cosplay
because
her.
she. Go for it.
Wouldn't it just be normal clothes, kind of? What would be like the
Wear
distinguishing
some
features?
some
The scar.
ratty old crop top and some ratty old cargo pants and the chain. Put my hair in some single braids. Make myself look dirty.
You do
There's
that,
a
man.
different artist.
Yeah, it's a different artist. The only thing is, and then walk around with a gun. But then the select few would know who she is. It would have to be a solely Instagram cosplay because I wouldn't go to a convention as that.
Nobody knows her.
Yeah,
Nobody knows her.
Nobody would know her.
If I go to conventions and I dress up as people who are more well known and people don't know, people definitely won't know her. Like
Didn't get no
at
play
conventions,
Storm
people don't know who America Chavez is.
I mean,
yeah, until they put her in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Anika, you can dress up however you want. It's up to you, right? It doesn't matter what people are gonna recognize that or not. It's just up to you.
I want good pictures. You only get good pictures when people know who you are.
Or you take them yourself.
Or you get Greg to take them for you.
Oh, see, she called you Greg.
It felt a little bit weird coming out of my mouth.
I feel like my best pictures at a convention was when I was Zatanna.
Because I took the pictures.
No, you didn't. It was some
random
photographer who took my best picture.
Who took the picture of your Punk Storm?
Which one? Like in New York?
The one that you did
the one
previous. Where you was like
my friend Jen took that right by the CN Tower.
Yep, Al says it.
The convention is right there. The convention center.
Said you do you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do you. I think I'm still waiting for like all the payment that I deserve for taking your pictures for how
What payment? What payment?
Like payment.
Let me see your portfolio. Let me see these pictures that you're talking about.
So I just have to go to your
these
Instagram.
Cosplay photos.
All I have to do for my portfolio is just go to your Instagram and take all the pictures that I took.
Most of my cosplay photos on my Instagram, you weren't there with me. You were there with me for Zatanna. You were there with me for my Miles Morales, his babe.
Yeah.
And Moana.
I'm gonna go through that IG, and if I don't get my payment,
but all of my best work, both Storms, you weren't there.
Because you owe me money. I'm not taking your pictures until I get my money.
Wait,
You see your
no, never mind.
excuses. With my Spidey punk, that was a good one that people didn't pay me no mind.
I was there.
They weren't seeing the visions. Yeah,
Yes.
that was our first convention together.
Sean, are you into cosplay too? Do you cosplay?
Nah, I don't cosplay. I mean, I support cosplayers and
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but I don't cosplay. Sadly.
Same here.
TC wants you to pay the lady.
Shut
Pay
up,
me.
PC. I'll pay you, Sharanja, when you cosplay. Cause you say you're waiting on payment. I'm waiting on that Ms.
Okay.
Marvel cosplay.
Everyone's waiting.
Yeah.
All right, Anika, wrap it up.
You wrap it up.
What is happening now? Who's rapping
She
what?
said
She can't. She don't want to play with me now.
I'm like Sean. I support cosplayers, but it's not.
You just said you were gonna do it though. I was
am.
there.
She said it multiple times.
I
We
am.
have
Whenever
two
COVID is
witnesses.
over, I will definitely put on an outfit when COVID is done.
You're gonna put on an outfit or a cosplay?
This girl
costume?
missed her opportunity. When she had all but 1 inch of hair, she had. You could have worn a wig and not been hot. You could have done something with the short hair.
Hey,
Missed
can't force her to
opportunity,
do
friend.
it. Let her do what she
Missed
wants.
opportunity.
So, my next question: do you guys think are you guys going to be reading the next copy, like the next story of Genius?
Cartel.
I'll tell you.
Girl,
Most
I
definitely.
just told you I ordered the thing.
Yeah.
So yes,
Most
Because
definitely.
I'm
How
a
many
little bit
issues
iffy.
is it?
it's 5.
Okay. Yeah.
You're iffy?
Yeah, because if I looked at who's writing the next story too. It's the same people who are writing it, and I feel like it's just going to be a lot of the same. Like there's not going to be a lot of development.
Yeah, but it's been years after. Maybe they've gotten better.
Yeah. When did the cartel come out?
I'm assuming 2018.
And when did the first Genius series come out? You said
2014?
2014? Okay.
Yeah, 2014.
Then yeah, maybe they got better. Maybe they got
I mean,
some feedback.
I'm looking forward to reading it, but I understand Sharanja's hesitation about it because it's only 5 issues, and what if we get 5 issues of the same? Lack of development, not much backstory on any of these characters. So it's like you read the story, it might be good, but at the same time, it's like you want more of it. It's like you cut it off at 5 when there's a lot more story to tell. I kind of felt the same way when I read Abbott, the comic book series on Boom Studios.
Oh, Greg, that's all you.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what was it?
Abbott.
Oh, I didn't even finish that yet, but I can see.
Oh, Greg, that's only 5
that.
issues, man. You can finish that.
I know. I was doing it.
You can finish that in an hour and a half, man.
I did for GG3, so I did I think I did 1 and 2. So I just need to finish the rest of it. That's all. But then there's so many other things to read.
I felt that I needed more from that story. That's the one thing about these 5-issue miniseries is that while it may be a decent story, if it's really good and you don't get enough of it, like enough storytelling, enough character development, it leaves you wanting more. And if it's just a 1 miniseries and done, I felt like you're shortchanging me because I feel like there's a lot more to this world than that you're not giving me.
Yeah, probably, especially if you say it's a mini-series, 5 issues. That there was a lot that they could have talked about just from what I read in 1 and 2. So knowing that's gonna be done in 5, there's gonna be a lot left out.
So, Sharanja, all you need is for me to read the book, tell you how it goes, and then you're gonna read it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do what Dusty Brick Brown said here by reading reviews on it and then just getting a consensus.
You make your own. Wow, I can't say it. You decide how it is. You read it, and yeah, don't let other people tell you how they think it is.
Yeah, I
But
can do
that's how most things get spread, Greg.
Mhm.
What? If you don't, no,
Like,
I know, but that's
review-
saying you should make the decision for yourself instead of like,
For
you know, people
example,
like
the
review-
three of us are telling her to read Far Sector, so the three of us are gonna make her read Far Sector.
All right, well, sure.
Far Sector is like it's a DC. It's a DC comic, right? It's like a
DC Young Animal.
she's
So
like a
she's
Green
not.
Lantern.
She's a Green Lantern, but she's not in like. She doesn't. She's not in the same kind of thing as the rest of them. Like
Yeah,
she's
she's
basically
out-
by
she's-
herself.
She's out in the
She's in the farthest
further
sector.
that even the Green Lanterns don't know about.
Yeah.
And so it's like an origin story, or she's already like in her like Green Lanternness.
She's in her Green Lantern thing, but it's like she hasn't had this role for that long.
Okay.
So she's basically learning everything as she goes.
And would it be like I'm not super into superheroes, so
no, you like it.
I would like it. Like someone would
Yes.
would like it.
Yes, because I'm not a big Green Lantern person, but like I go hard for this. It's like a murder mystery. I told you this.
Mhm.
And then the writer is that famous author, N.K. Jemisin.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
Then
you'll like it.
definitely check it out. I'll check it out.
Plus, you'll love the artwork. Jamal Campbell's
Yes.
artwork is great.
Sharanja, support the Toronto Mandem.
Oh, the artist is from Toronto?
Yes.
Jamal
Campbell.
You got G-Spot in the chat. What's going on, Robert? I was saying she's in the boondocks of space.
Oh, that's a fourth person telling you to read Far Sector.
It's as good as done.
Okay.
So y'all just let me know when the next episode y'all want to talk cartel. I'm down for it.
Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
There.
Thank you for coming. This was fun. Agreed.
Yes, thank you to both our brown boys.
It was a blast just coming on here and talk. I enjoy your shows, talking about different books and novels and stuff. So
We get so off topic.
hey,
Yeah.
just you follow my example on my show because we just have a variety of topics. We don't have one set topic. We just go off the rails. But it's fun.
Oh yeah.
Shaun, I
TC's
appreciate that
plugging
you've been
Greg
here
right
every
now.
episode supporting.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's
TC
plugging
is
me.
plugging Greg right now. Go check out his Greg's Grand 3. He did a review on Far Sector.
Okay,
Also,
TC, yeah.
he did a review on Storm, the one that I love, and he chose it as one of his tops. So I'm kind of happy. TC's in his feelings because he didn't choose God Country or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? God Country. So suck it, TC.
Wow.
But yeah, I'll always support this show, and try and catch the show whenever I can.
Well, you catch it every time.
Yeah. You're like our
with you being on here, we have less viewers because you're always like our definite one viewer.
And it's funny because I work Sunday night. I go to work, so normally that time I'll be asleep. But I'll be like, man, I gotta catch Fresh Princess show. So I get my nap in a little bit earlier so I can wake up and watch y'all and support the show.
Dedication.
I got friends out here. I got friends in these Corona streets of Florida.
Corona streets. Damn, I wish this thing didn't happen.
Corona. Yeah. I'm just glad that I got to Florida and got out in time.
Good for you.
That was my last vacation before this mess.
Thanks, Greg and his family.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
Doing nothing.
I was gonna say something. Sharanja, what's the next book? Gods of Jade and something.
Oh, Gods of Jade and Shadow. The Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Grace Moreno. It's a really good book. It's set in Mexico during the 1920s. It's like a sci-fi fantasy. phenomenal. You're gonna like
Have you
it.
already read it?
I've already read
Yeah,
it,
she read it already.
which is why I recommended it.
I see.
Well, no, that wasn't why it was recommended. It was because when we started doing this, Josue, because I had promoted your Bookstagram, he had went on and he had sent me a message saying, "Oh, like I just went to check her page out and like I see that she read this book and I've been meaning to read that." I'm like, okay, so like maybe I should add this to the list.
Yeah, she's a really good writer. She mainly writes about Latinx stories. So if anyone who's interested in that, like go check her out. She's really good.
And we're coming to the end of Latinx Heritage Month. 5 more days.
I didn't even know that they had a month.
Sharanja, I've been posting. What do you mean?
Listen, I just tapped through your story now.
You're rude. I'm gonna block you. Watch. Wow. I'm gonna block both your Instagram accounts.
Oh, I thought you were gonna block me. I was like, what do I do?
I'm gonna post that American Chavez comic that I have, the Ultimates, that Mike Deodato cover, the one with the white background.
Is that the one with the white background and it kind of looks like graffiti? The front kind of.
No,
like
it's just a plain. It's just a plain white background with just her in the cover. I'll post it tonight.
Okay, I don't think I have that one.
You've seen it though, and I
must be.
I could send this, but I'm just gonna close out for me and just show this amazing.
Yes, he showed that on his stream earlier. It is awesome.
If you know, this is the play on the Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. crown picture.
That's amazing.
Comic Head 84. No, this is from Comic Head 1984. Oh. He sent this to me as an AOK, so.
Wow.
It was awesome, man. Baby. Yeah. Oh, again, though, it was great being on the show with you guys, and I hope to do more shows with y'all, even if it's just if it's comic related or book related and stuff. I'll be happy to just join the show.
Well, every other show is either a graphic novel or like children's book. Like every other is always like some kind of graphic something, so it's easier reading.
Yeah, it hasn't been too heavy.
Shit, you saying that it's starting to get heavy for me with all these school readings.
Yeah, you're in school right now.
All these mental health.
We have a graphic novel on the list too, American Born Chinese. So that should also be good.
Is that written by the same guy who did his Superman? I've seen that name, and I think he did the new Superman in the Rebirth.
I think so. It's Gene Yuan.
Gene Yang or Yuan?
Jen Luen Yang.
Yeah, I think that's him. I remember him being a famous, important author when they signed him to do the new Superman, the Chinese Superman.
Oh, wait, there's a Chinese Superman? I'm so out of it.
I read like one of them.
Yeah, it was when Rebirth
really not a DC person.
He's doing a Shang-Chi too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I missed the first issue of that one. It was sold out.
Yeah, I picked that up.
Oh, also, so you know how Marvel Voices had like it was like the black whatever? Well, Indigenous Voices is coming out soon. And what's that guy's name? Taboo from Black Eyed Peas. He's gonna be on a Marvel project about, I don't know if the guy's indigenous or what, but it's something wolf.
Like a film project?
No, like a comic book project.
Shout out to Bernardin, Vigilante in the chat. He popped in.
Hey.
Hey, Fat Albert. I'm trying to see what any future things are, but we don't really have any comics coming up.
Red Wolf?
Sharanja.
This was
No,
the
I
only
mean like
comic
for
that we
the
had on.
Oh no, sorry, I'm reading comments.
This was the only comic that we had on the list.
also according to our schedule, one of the days will be on my birthday, so I don't know if we're gonna change that.
It's up to
Birthday
you.
celebration. That way we can invite Stone Cold Steve so he can properly say
So he'll
happy
get me
birthday.
on my actual birthday.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Whenever you pop up in the chat, I already know what he's gonna say.
Happy birthday. And I'd be smiling each time. Smiling and shaking my head. Well, Sharanja, if we do it on my birthday, we're gonna have a super special read.
Your choice.
Yeah, your choice. You're the birthday girl. So
But I mean,
I don't even think we have anything. We don't have like our second lineup yet, do we?
well, the tentative one for that was Anil's Ghost.
For December?
Yeah, for the 27th. That was our tentative one for that.
Well, I definitely want to read that one, but it doesn't have to be for your birthday. We could always just switch it out with something else.
TC bringing up God Country again.
Okay, I'll admit, God Country was a good book. I read it. It's a good book. But it's just not as good as my Storm, okay?
I don't like this.
You can't compete with the love story of Storm and Black Panther. You just can't.
What's God Country about? Is that another
There's
Marvel
this
comic?
guy, and he has dementia, but then he gets this super magical sword and slays some super magical enemies.
Wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful summary.
I think its name is
First,
like
I thought you were talking
Girl
about
Facts or
like King
something.
Arthur. You talking about
I
King
know.
Arthur here?
I know a lot of people talk about how great it is. I myself haven't read it yet. To be honest, I haven't read it yet. But I know Dusty Brick Brown loved God Country. A lot of people love that book. I think it's an Image title too. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Image.
One of the indies.
damn, it's 2:30 a.m. over there.
Oh. What?
Daylight saving soon, so
Thank you for staying up.
gonna-
Thank you for
an
staying up
hour.
with us, Mr.
So
Vigilante.
he's in Austria.
Oh.
Yeah, we do a show on Fridays. Talking about movies.
Tawny Cates. The man, the myth, the legend. Okay. Any closing thoughts, Sharanja? Gregory? Shaun?
Closing. I mean, I thought it was a fun read. Genius was really action packed, but there were a lot of spots where it could have just been a little bit more developed.
So
But
what would you rate it?
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 is
that's
still
not
really
bad.
good.
Yeah.
That's why I would give it. I mean, it's engaging enough that I couldn't wait to read the next issue. But like I said, a lot more could have been done with it.
Yeah, like it could have been pushed to at least 8 issues, if not 10.
Yep.
Greg, any thoughts?
I feel like everyone just said pretty much the same thing, but I don't know. For my rating, I'd probably give it 3.5. Still like basically 4, but it was all right. It's, as you said, like it's a lot of it could have been fleshed out. So, but it's an old comic, so
It's not old. It's from 2014.
It's 2020 now.
That's-
It's kind of
yeah,
old.
it's
Not
2020.
old. It's just older. Calm
But it's
down.
not definitely not.
Because you have people in the chat here who have comics from the 70s.
Yeah, that's old. That's ancient. Those are fossils.
Damn.
They are
So Greg, if a comic came out the year and month that you were born,
that's
what would that be?
fossil. I don't know.
So you're calling yourself a fossil?
I'm not the fossil. Those pieces of paper are.
Yeah, have you ever looked up the comics that came out on your birth month and year?
No.
I'm
No,
curious.
that's actually an interesting idea. Actually,
Apparently, it's a thing. People have birthday comics.
Yeah, they show their birthday comic with the same month and year it came out.
I want to look it up.
I don't know
My
if I'd have
keyboard's
anything
too
good.
loud.
What comes out in December of '92?
You never know. You never
Garfield
know.
came out September 26, 1991. No.
For who? Is that something good?
What? You think Garfield's not good?
Did she say Garfield? I heard Farfield. You see, I have
No,
hearing issues.
Garfield.
I was like, you call me Garfield all the time. Like, what are you
I
trying
do,
to say
because-
now?
Because you hate Mondays and you love lasagna.
1991 in comics. Oh, there's
No-
a Wikipedia page.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah.
Mondays is the worst day, and lasagna is banging. So
This... I know. So long ago.
but with that
I
in
want
mind,
cheesecake.
I want to look up my birthday comic.
Look up mine too while you're at it.
I feel like my keyboard's too loud. I don't want to be clickety clacking all over this place.
Sharanja, look it up.
Look up what?
My
Everyone-
birthday comic.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find your actual birthday comic, but I can tell you what came out in December.
There's a
that was funny right there.
Uh,
He got the third print. Oh man, I wonder how much the first print of the Ten Commandments go for on eBay.
your soul
Oh
and
man,
your children's souls.
see, this is how we prolong the show by just talking about random stuff. You know,
I'm
I
waiting for my
want,
birthday comic.
you know, I want to end the show today. I want to go under 3 hours. And then Higher Layer Comic Bro came on.
Yeah.
We went another 15 minutes. And then
Oh my
90
God.
came on. I'm like, damn it, y'all trying to get me to go 3 hours. I'm trying to end it. I ended it at 2 hours and 58 minutes. I was like, at least I got it
Well,
under
you made
3.
you made your goal. Sharanja, what'd you find?
So two Marvel comics came out in the month of December, and that was The Incredible Hulk number 400,
Oh, nice.
and the second one, The Punisher / Captain America Blood and Gory number 3.
I don't like any of those.
Well, it's better than Garfield.
What about DC?
Literally, those were the only two comics I could find.
See what I mean? What comes out in December of '92? Nothing.
Calm down. 2 things came out. That's not nothing.
Yeah, that's something.
Well, then maybe I might have to go find that Hulk one.
Good luck.
It's a glittery cover. I have it.
It's glittery.
In terms of how it flashes.
It's flashy, you say.
Yeah.
Holographic? I can't say.
It's the 90s, so of course it's gonna be a gimmick cover.
Thank you for coming, Dusty Brick Brown. We'll definitely check out your live stream.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I'm gonna be on
the
there.
comic round table. Was it?
Yeah, the Comic Con roundtable discussion.
I'll be there with bells on.
So I'll be there in a few hours. Whenever Fresh Princess decides to just end the stream, but
I'm
You
waiting
know,
for
you like-
Sharanja to end it.
Okay, jeez. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
thanks everyone for tuning in. We really do appreciate the support. Our next discussion will be in 2 weeks. Anika, do you have the exact date?
Yes.
October
The last
October
Sunday.
25th.
Yes, October 25th. We're going to
Yep,
be
so-
discussing Gods of Jade and Shadow.
We hope you
Bye.
guys tune in. It's a really good book, and like I said, we really do we really do appreciate the support.
We do. Thanks to especially to the comic book community, because you're the ones who got our backs all the time.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you to Shaun and Gregory for guest starring. It was a lot more fun with the two of you here.
Definitely.
Awesome. It was a pleasure to be on.
Thanks for the invite.
Oddly enough, the three of you are who are like basically are my daily contacts on social media.
Yeah, and continue to pressure him to finish Different World.
Yeah.
Greg, I send Shaun so much like of the little clips of it. I'm gonna start sending them to you and be like, okay, I'm gonna spoil it.
Greg, I'm so
Need it.
surprised that you haven't watched it because you look like you would enjoy it. Like
he could be the Dwayne Wade to my Whitley. 'Cause I'm high
Exactly.
maintenance.
Yes.
Greg, you need to learn how to put me correctly into my place, but you're not gonna learn that unless you watch it.
And I feel like, okay, Greg, don't even bother watching the first season. Just go on to the next. It doesn't matter. Don't watch the first season. It doesn't matter.
Do that, then I wouldn't have finished it.
Just
Don't
watch
worry, man. The first season ain't gonna affect the later seasons. We'll start with season 2 and go from there.
Greg, I won't hold it against you.
And make sure you get flipped glasses, like Dwayne.
I have flip glasses. You can borrow them, Greg.
I'm on episode 7 of season 1. That's where I am.
Episode 7 of how much?
I don't know.
Was it a short season?
I don't know. I just went on Prime quickly and looked where I was.
Oh, it's on Prime? I didn't know that.
I said that already during the stream.
Sorry,
You don't listen to me.
My ear not working.
Damn.
Jeez.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming.
Yes, thank you all. We appreciate every last one of you for the continued support. And please continue to support us.
Continue to support. It really does matter.
Follow these guys. Well, you guys all already follow Shaun. But if you don't follow these two, follow these two.
Who's these two?
Follow
Shaun
Shaun
and
and
Sharanja.
Gregory. Gregory.
Everybody's infos is in the description box below. So, yeah. We out.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.
A-Town down.
A-Town's down.
Bye.